So, in this time of lockdown, there is a lot of emphasis on maintaining that we continue our physical health by social distancing. That's all about keeping us safe. We're also encouraged to do some physical exercise. So if you might have seen the Joe Wicks videos, a lot of physical exercise. I'm only going to spend the next 2 minutes and a half to share some things to really get our mind and our mental health in check. And because, like all things, we work within mental health, we're inundated prior to COVID-19. We have no idea what will happen afterwards, how much more referrals we're going to get. But in the interim, let's think about ways to start improving and keeping yourself fit and active in your mind so that you can come through this in a healthy way. One of the first tips I wanted to share today would be if we start thinking about goal setting. And it is quite easy for your mind to get stuck into what's happening now, what's happening today. You know, watching the news and seeing the death toll, unfortunate death toll, looking at how many people are infected, how much longer we're going to be in there. And it's quite easy for your mind to start looking at that and thinking, oh my goodness, what's going on? And the more it focuses on the things that are happening, it can start consuming you and affect how you can lead into low mood, depression, anxiety and other things. So you want to try and counter that. And one of the best ways that we can do that is to start thinking about setting goals. Setting goals in 3 stages. We've got our short-term goals, so let's look at within now and the next 6 months. We've got our medium goals, so we look at about 12 months to about 2 years. And then we've got our long-term goals, anything 5 years plus. And what we want to try and do in those areas is to start thinking about, okay, you know what, in 6 months' time, if we're in April now, so in 6 months' time, it's around August, September, what would we want, where we'd want to be? Because we might still be in this situation, we might not be. What would you want to do differently? Do you want to learn a new language? Do you want to start taking up a new hobby? So it's good to just start planning these things and start working towards them. Your medium ones would be, as I mentioned, 12 months to 2 years. This time next year, things would have been different. What would you want to be doing differently? If you could reflect on how life used to be prior to this lockdown, what changes would you want to start making in your life? So you think about this time next year, what would you want to be doing differently? And then finally we get to the long-term goals, so 5 years plus. And this is good in mind. And when I'm my last 2 sessions, when I'm treating my patients for whether it's anxiety or depression, this is what we focus on. I always want them to start never thinking, great, I'm cured. It's always, nope, we need to keep going. We need the mind to keep thinking that, yep, we've still got more work to do. So let's have these long-term goals. So thinking in the next 5 years, where would you want to be? What you want to be doing differently? Are there places that you would like to have visited? It's nice and long-term, but you start working towards them. So I'm just going to leave you with those things today about goal setting. And then what I'll do in the next video would be to start talking about how we start working on our day-to-day goals to lead up to those long-term goals. But the final thing I'll say is that in all that we're doing, every day until this lockdown is over, just think about one thing that you're going to be grateful for. Jot it down. Either you put it on your social media accounts, you share it with family or friends, and text message, but every day think about one thing that you're grateful for. There's so much negativity outside, you don't want to be consumed with it. So just, it's a good exercise to start to do each day. It's just say one thing that you're thankful for. You could tell somebody one-to-one, or you can just start listening and every day think of something so you can start looking forward to the next day. But as I say, we'll start going more and more detail about the goal setting in later videos. Take care.